last year. We weren't, standing outside with a big for sale sign. We were working on our own plan as an independent airline. We have a lot of confidence in that. I'll acknowledge the last few years have been very challenging, starting with the pandemic, including the slow return of Japanese visitors, which has gradually improved over the course of 2023. So we have work to do, but we did have a plan. And we do have a plan that we would, compete strongly as an independent carrier. One of the conversations we had in the fall as, we were privately negotiating this deal, and there were only a small number of people inside our company who knew about the negotiation. One of the things we talked about in those private conversations was, we've got plan A and plan B. Plan A, and I insisted it was plan A up until we had a deal, was that we operate as a carrier with our standalone plan, and we continue to compete aggressively, and we complete our recovery from the challenges of the last couple of years. Plan B was getting the deal agreed with Alaska. To me, all that changed after we made the announcement is plan B is now plan A. We've agreed to that. This is the plan going forward. We think it is a better outcome for our company. It's a better outcome for our employees, better outcome for our shareholders. It's good for consumers. But if for some reason we had to go back to the other plan, we're completely confident in our ability to execute that as well.
Okay, next question, the inter-island market. Will Alaska begin flying inter-island? Or if not, will rates change as a result of this combination?
So one of the things we promised right out of the outset is that we will maintain inter-island service. So that is something that we are committed to. Again, because we believe that's where a lot of the loyalty, and we know how important it is. And by the way, I heard loud and clear that the importance of keeping inter-island fares low, so we know that. The one thing I will tell you about Alaska's business model, and this is something that we've honed over 20 years. We believe in having low costs internally. We pay people well, have great benefits, but we have a mindset around productivity, because productivity drives cost, productivity of assets, productivity of people. And so we have one of the lower cost structures in the industry, 15% lower than American, Delta, and United, and actually a bit lower than Hawaiian. And so our view is by having low costs, we can offer low fares, but low fares with an extremely value product. Like I talked about, we have a first class, a premium class, we have lounges, we're part of a One World Alliance. We got a great loyalty program with our credit card. So low costs, low fares with a value product is how we are wired to deliver every day.
Do you want to add? Or you? Got it. Okay.
Aloha. My name is Amy Ma. I'm the project manager of the UH Rural Health Research and Policy Center. One of the new projects that we're working on is transportation, as access to care is very necessary, especially for the neighbor islands, to receive care on Oahu or Maui as a result of giving birth or having specialty care. We were wondering, what are the merger's implications for access to health care for patients and providers?
So, we've partnered with the healthcare community over many, many years, largely through what we call our corporate program. And I always joke when I say Hawaiian Airlines corporate program, it's a little different than when American or Delta and United says it on the mainland. They're mainly referring to flying investment bankers or consultants. Our corporate program is many of the people in these rooms. Some of our biggest customers are the University of Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, HMSA, the various medical associations are big customers, construction, longshore are big industries for us. So it's people traveling between the islands for work. Part of maintaining the neighbor island network is maintaining that reliable, frequent service that is valued by people whose, whatever need you're traveling for, but especially if you're traveling for required care like that. So the fact that that the neighbor island service is being maintained, and as Ben said, that's a commitment they've made, you can expect that it's going to be available to move people around who need to travel throughout the state for required medical care.
Thank you for that question. Okay, I'm going to rephrase this question. Okay. So Peter, what advice would you give to Ben about to honor Hawaii and Hawaiian Airlines culture to be successful for the people of Hawaii? And Ben, what kind of advice would he give to Peter?
So I think it is.
You can look at each other.
You know, one of the things. It is one of the things we've talked about already, and we're going to talk about it more. You're creeping me out, Ben. That's my first bit of advice. But one of the things we've talked about, there's been this discussion, again, going back to the very first time we met to talk about this combination around maintaining the two brands. And one of the points that I've made is, you look at the banner over here behind us, you see Pualani, we love Pualani, you see the purple and the fuchsia, we love the colors, we love the font, especially the font, Avi. But that's not our brand. That's not what maintaining the Hawaiian brand means. Those are symbols that represent our brand. But our brand is our values of Malama, Ho'okipa, Lokahi, Po'okela. It's the tradition of service that is rooted in many of the same cultures and traditions of the islands of Hawaii that our employees over the 94-plus year history of our company have built. And so the advice I have to Ben and to Joe on the integration planning and to the rest of the Alaska team, and I've already shared this advice, is please take some time as you're thinking about the decisions on the brand to make sure you really understand it and you get into the details of it and you understand what is important to our people, what is important to our community, what is important to our state. And I think if they do that, they're going to be really successful because they come in with the right attitude on it. And I think as long as they go through that process, it's going to work out great and people are really going to be pleased how the combination comes together.
Yeah, for us, and that's totally message received. And before I answer the question on advice for Peter, what I want to say our approach all this, and I hope it's come out loud and clear in the last, or since the announcement, is that we're going to listen. Alaska is here to listen and understand all the nuances that are associated with the Hawaiian brand and the community and culture. So we've been operating here for 16 years. Daniel's done an awesome job with his team. He has been our conscience here in saying, here's how you do things here, here's what you not to do. But I know there's more as we take on what I see is a big responsibility to serve the 1.4 million people who live here. And so we're going to listen, we're going to understand. It's why we announced this past week, I think it was, the creation of the Hawaiian Community Advisory Board. The idea of a community advisory board, and we've had it for 4 decades in the state of Alaska. And remember, in the state of Alaska, this is a state, again, non-contiguous like Hawaii, that's 2.5 times the size of Texas and only has 750,000 people. And yet we fly to 19 communities, but only 3 have roads. Peter, you made a good analogy the other day. It's like the vastness of the state is our ocean because there's only 3 places that have roads. And so what we've done over those decades, even as we've grown a larger airline, a bigger airline, and we've grown in the continental U.S., we've never forgotten our connection to the state of Alaska because of this community advisory board, because of our people there, and our commitment to serve these communities for medical services and medical needs and critical supplies that have to get to these remote villages that only have 3,000 or 4,000 people. And so the way we do it is by listening, by understanding. And I love these, and we have one member, it's Art Gladstone. Art, raise your hand. You're part of the, there you go. So Art's one of the 16 members of the Hawaiian CAB. And that our job is just, we're going to listen, and they're going to say, look, here's what our communities are looking for. And what I love about the CAB in Alaska is they tell us what's going on with, you know, for example, there's a lot of oil industry, mining industry, cruise industry. We get a sense of how the economy is going, how people are feeling, the politics in the state. And we adjust and modify our business. If we know there's a huge increase in tourism from cruise ships, we'll add more flights, you know, to accommodate the economy in that state. So this is what we expect to do. We're going to listen. Please teach us. And my advice is not so much advice to Peter, but an ask is teach us. Teach us to make sure that we don't step on a landmine because we want to do what's right. It's part of our value, and we want to serve the state in the best way possible. So my advice is help us do it right. Avoid us from putting our foot on a landmine. We're not perfect, but we think from our experience in the state of Alaska that we can do well for all of you here. So that's my thing, is just help us, Peter. That would be my ask.
Thank you. Art is with Hawaii Pacific Health. Thought I'd give a plug for that since Ray Vera is here too.
And Art's a great choice, even though he's cheering for the wrong basketball team on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. You're a huge Duke fan in North Carolina. But he's from Canada as well. Yeah.
He's still got bad taste in basketball teams.
Okay. Very important question. What's going to happen to the partnership with Jason Momoa and other local partnerships?
With who?
Jason Momoa.
So you got to tell me more here.
Okay, so Jason Momoa he loves flying Hawaiian Airlines. His started a company making water in sustainable packaging. He's Aquaman.
Huge
Don't
hunk.
get out to the movies.
You could have said so, Aquaman. Sorry, I didn't know.
And you should be nice to him because he's bigger than both of us and he could probably kick our ass.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to maintain?
Yeah, for Aquaman, of course. Yes, Aquaman. Yes.
Okay.
We love sponsoring. We do a lot of sponsorships as well, but that one's like a slam dunk for sure.
All right, you heard it here. Okay. Did you want to say something? Okay. What's your vision on electric or fuel alternative plans?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
What's your vision on electric or fuel alternative plans?
Great. So I guess it's about technology, net carbon zero. So, you know, Alaska has a 5-part plan to achieve net carbon zero by 2040. Very, very aggressive. And when we looked at Hawaiian's plan, they meld very, very nicely together. It's an aggressive plan. It's a 5-point plan that looks at, one, today, how do we operate in the most efficient way possible? So how do we, with the existing aircraft and resources we have, do we consume the least amount? Doing things like single-engine taxi to the runway, and so you save on one engine before you have to start the second engine to take off. Things like not running the auxiliary power unit, making sure ground units, electrical ground power is always available. Things like that. So how do we operate in the most efficient way possible? The second phase is using technology, and we use things like machine learning, artificial intelligence to help us plan and dispatch flights. We've saved millions of gallons of fuel doing that. Third, along the same lines of technology, is looking at different ideas for the future. So this electrification of airplanes is exciting, still a long ways away, but we're still looking at it and investing in it. For example, one of our older airplanes that we retired called the Q400, we donated that to a company in Washington State that is in the process of using hydrogen to power those engines. So we donate an airplane. If hydrogen is the way forward, battery, we're not sure, but what we want to do is be part of the, the technology exploration for the next generation airplane. The last one is all about sustainable aviation fuels, and we talked to a couple of folks here. The only realistic path for airlines to reach net zero with the airplanes we have today is through sustainable aviation fuels. So I was really pleased to hear that a plant is on its way of being built, and thousands of barrels of sustainable aviation fuel will be produced here, which is great. It's still, for the entire industry today, just to give you a sense, only 0.1% of sustainable aviation fuels are being produced for an industry that's already committed to 10% by 2030. So we have to produce 100 times the fuels today that are needed, 100 times what's being produced today by 2030. It is a long, steep climb, and it's going to take all the stakeholders, government, industry, producers, all to come together. But that is our path to net zero, is to get it through sustainable aviation fuels. The whole industry is not together, but it's going to take a lot of work.
And I'll just tag on to that a little bit, because there really is a lot of alignment in our approach to this and Alaska's. And the analogy I make when I think about sustainability and what we can do to make our industry more sustainable, and we know it's a challenge because ours is one of the toughest sectors to decarbonize. Many of us have rooftop solar already. It's not everywhere, but it's producing a lot of our energy, reducing our electricity needs. A lot of people have electric cars already. There is no electric airplane. You may someday get on an electric airplane to fly to the neighbor islands. You're never going to get on a battery-powered airplane to fly to San Francisco or Seattle or Los Angeles. The technology will just not get there. So there is a lot of work to do. The interesting thing about it is, as competitive as we are in this business, and it's incredibly competitive. Many of us who have been around the industry for a long time, that's part of what keeps us excited, is being in this competitive dogfight every day with other airlines. There are a couple areas we don't compete. The most important one is safety. We want the industry to be safe, not just for the people on our airline, but the people on all airlines. And we have forums in the industry to make sure we collaborate on safety, and those have been in place for decades. In the last few years, we've had an increasing number of forums where we are cooperating with other airlines on sustainability, because we know it is a challenge that we have to address on an industry-wide basis, and we know that we're a long way off from where we need to get to. But we're going to get there by putting great minds to it, thinking through the technology, executing very well. And it is an area where we can collaborate today, and we are doing that in a variety of ways.
Wow, we reached an hour already. There's a lot of questions you couldn't get to. Apologize for that, but hopefully we can get some of them answered later. So one final question. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Be careful how you answer, because there's...
Well...
Don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I learned that last weekend.
We are sponsoring Brock Purdy. Oh, silence in the room.
Okay, who's the 49ers fans here?
49ers. All right, 49ers. They're
the
West
Kansas
Coast,
City?
so we are a West Coast-based airline, so we kind of have to go with and we do fly a lot into San Francisco, so I am leaning, I got to be honest, I am leaning to, although I love Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think we call them the Kansas City Swifts, though. You like my little thing? Not Kansas. No, you don't? I think so.
Done. Okay. Any final words?
All I want to say is, just like I said before, we're going to listen, learn, and do the best for the state in terms of how we're going to serve it.
And I just want to say mahalo to everyone here. Sherry mentioned Jasmine's here earlier, and a lot of the members of our our Hawaii sales team are in the audience, the people you interact with every day, either in our offices or coming around to meet you. And we really appreciate being Hawaii's airline. It's something we take incredible pride in, but we know it comes with a responsibility. So for those of you who are regular flyers on our airline, I just say mahalo and appreciate the interest you have in our business as well.
Wonderful. Let's give Peter and Ben a big round of applause. Now to close out, we are giving thanks to Hawaiian and Alaska for 15,000 Hawaiian Airline Miles certificates and 4 Alaska Airlines certificates. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now, are we going to start with Hawaiian Airlines miles? Okay.
I don't know which is which. I just handed off.
Oh. So the first winner is Carl Peretania of Levy Convention Centers. Thousand miles is Cameron Conlon of Park West Fine Art Museum. The final winner of Hawaiian Airline Miles is Kaohi Gomera of Hawaii Employers Council. Okay, now to the Alaska Airlines.
Hi, Kenny.
The first winner is Hawaii Yacht. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Stephen Enner, Hawaii Yacht Club. Oh, okay. Oh, hi, Nikki. Thank you. And the next